Let me tell you something. When Thelma Gardner limped into the Golden Dragon Karate Academy that first sticky afternoon, cane in hand, floral cardigan over her shoulders, nobody in that place could keep a straight face. I mean, you know the type, kids snickering behind their hands, Sensei Rick raising an eyebrow like, "You lost, ma'am?" And Tyler and Josh, the local dojo jocks, just couldn't help themselves, imitating her every awkward move. What they didn't notice, what nobody ever does when they think they're better than you, was the look in Thelma's eyes. Calm, measured, taking it all in. They didn't know those mistakes she made tying her white belt were just a little too deliberate. Not one of them realized they were watching a legend hide in plain sight, just waiting for the right moment. You want to know what it's look like? Imagine being 72, walking into a place where everyone expects you to fold where you're the punchline before you even start. Thelma just smiled at Amanda, the receptionist, asked to join a class, and let the young woman trip all over herself with polite disbelief. Even when Sensei Rick tried to talk her out of it, "Ma'am, our classes are pretty demanding. Maybe try Tai Chi?" Thelma kept that same soft but stubborn tone. "I want to learn karate, and I'll be the first to admit if I can't keep up." You could see Erica, the business manager, doing the math in her head. New enrollments are good for PR, and what's the harm in humoring a grandma for a month? First day, Thelma's GI was about 3 sizes too big, belt hanging sideways, came propped up on the wall while she shuffled through basic stances in the back row. If you've never seen a room full of teenagers fail to hide their laughter, let me tell you it's something. Tyler calling out, "Bingo hall's that way, ma'am," and Rick pretending he didn't hear it. Through it all, Thelma just kept at it, stumbling and faltering and never letting the mask drop. You could almost feel the heat rising off her cheeks, but she bowed at the end of class like it was the most natural thing in the world. She thanked Rick sincerely and walked out, cane tapping a slow, steady beat on the asphalt while the boys in the locker room kept up their jokes. "Thank you, Sensei," in squeaky voices, horse stance like a baby giraffe. But you know what? She came back. Second class, then third. Even when Mia, one of the quieter students, tried to defend her, "Come on, guys, leave her alone," the boys just sneered. Thelma, meanwhile, noticed everything. How Mia's stance was off, how the receptionist kept forgetting her name, how Rick's patience wore thin around the edges. She helped Mia with her form one day, gentle correction, and for a moment you saw something click in the girl's eyes. Here's where it gets interesting. One afternoon after class, Mia's at the library doing research for a school project, flips open an old book about American martial artists in Japan, and there's a faded name, Thelma Gardner. 1970s. A photo missing, the story cut short. That night, Mia can't stop thinking about it. The next day, she sees Thelma in the park, moving through a kata that looks nothing like the clumsy routine she puts on at the dojo. It's beautiful, honestly. Effortless. Mia's hiding in the bushes, and Thelma just calls out, "You can come out now. The mosquitoes are killing you." There's no anger, just a quiet challenge. Sometimes the truth needs a witness. Back at the dojo, the vibes are shifting. The students are divided. Tyler and Josh, still leading the peanut gallery, but now a few others are curious, even a little impressed by Thelma's persistence. Rick's distracted, trying to keep the lid on the simmering tension while Eric obsesses over online reviews. Bullying allowed here. Instructors don't care. It's getting hard to ignore. Then one day, after another round of side-eyed jokes and tripped feet, Thelma finally laughs, not in embarrassment, but like she knows a secret. Josh looks unsettled for the first time. But the real twist? An old Japanese man shows up, sharp suit, posture like a blade. Kenji Tanaka. He recognizes Thelma in a heartbeat thunderhand, the legend. They share a few words out in the parking lot, hushed and loaded with history. And suddenly Thelma's past isn't so far away anymore. And yeah, Mia's watching too. The day the dojo hosts Challenge Day is when it all blows open. Erica, seeing a PR opportunity, schedules a demonstration match. Rick versus Miss Gardner. Thelma lets herself be led onto the mat, lets Rick show off his kata, then starts her own slow, hesitant, just like everyone expects. Until halfway through, suddenly her posture shifts, movements sharpen, and what was once clumsy becomes absolutely breathtaking. The room falls dead silent. Then, sparring, Rick tries every trick he knows, but Thelma barely moves, always exactly where she needs to be. When Rick finally overextends, Thelma touches his wrist and drops him soft as a whisper, but undeniable. Tyler's furious, calling it luck, wanting a shot. But Kenji steps in, his voice slicing through the noise. You will show respect. You stand in the presence of Thelma Gardner, 6-time All-Japan champion. You could hear jaws hit the floor. Rick, finally catching up, bows deeply, followed by the students one by one. You'd think that'd be the end of it, but things only get messy, eh? Mia's video of Thelma's park kata goes viral. Suddenly, there are reporters outside, parents wanting autographs. Even Josh's old man in MMA lifer shows up, grilling his son for missing out on learning from a real master. Erica, seeing her grip on the dojo slip, tries to erase Thelma from books. Rick finally draws a line, restore her records or he walks. And in the middle of all this, the real danger creeps in. Kenji warns them Sumion's watching, someone dangerous. The son of an old rival from Thelma's Japan days, Hiroshi Kojima, shows up at the dojo and challenges her. It's not just a fight, it's a reckoning decades in the making. Thelma's past isn't just a cool story. It's a shadow that threatens everyone she cares about now. Tournament day. Golden Dragon's team is buzzing. The crowd is restless. Rick exposes Erica's cheating and match-fixing in front of the whole audience. Thelma's status as a living legend becomes public, and the crowd is divided between awe and confusion. Then Hiroshi, carrying all his father's bitterness and ambition, demands a match against Thelma herself. The officials are wary too much history, too many eyes, but they can't resist the spectacle. When Thelma and Hiroshi meet on the mat, it's nothing short of electric. Every move is loaded with history style, a blend of modern aggression and old-school discipline. Hers flowing, adaptive, deeply rooted. When her shoulder gives out mid-match, it looks like she's finished, but she draws on something deeper. Redirects, survives, and at the final moment, instead of striking, places her palm gently over Hiroshi's heart, showing everyone she could win, but chooses mercy. Hiroshi collapses, not in defeat, but in recognition. I don't know how to exist without hate, he whispers. And Thelma, steady as ever, tells him that's his next journey. Golden Dragon is changed after that. Rick buys out Erica, turns the place into Gardner Tanaka Karate Academy, blending tradition with fresh perspective. The dojo is full again, but this time with real respect, genuine curiosity. Josh and Mia, once just kids trying to prove themselves, become leaders in their own right. Even Tyler finds his footing, learning that winning isn't everything. In the end, Thelma stands at the front of her class, surrounded by students young and old, every eye on her as she lays out the only lesson that ever mattered. Strength isn't about beating others. It's about finding the courage to change, to let go of hate, to become more than what the world expects of you. A little girl asks, "Sensei, can I be as strong as you someday?" And Thelma just smiles, hand over her heart. Strength comes in many forms, sweetheart. The real fight is always inside. So let me ask you, since you made it this far, what would you fight for? Pride, or the chance to change someone's life for the better? Share your thoughts below. Because justice, respect, and redemption, those stories are still being written every day in places just like this one.